Hi there, it's Patrick here with another recipe. Today we're going to be cooking shakshuka, which is a North African dish, poached eggs in a spicy tomato sauce. For the ingredients we have a large white onion, diced. We have 1 red bell pepper, diced. We have 1 jalapeno, which I've cut into half moons. For the spices we have 1 tablespoon of cumin, a half tablespoon of smoked paprika, another half tablespoon of turmeric, a half teaspoon of freshly grated black pepper, and a 1/4 tablespoon of cayenne. We also have 30 milliliters of tomato paste, or 2 tablespoons, 1 whole can of chopped onions, and 6 eggs. To finish, we're going to put some feta cheese on top, and we're going to be dipping some bread into it, and some olive oil for frying off the vegetables. Alright, let's get started. So to start off, you're going to preheat your pan over medium heat. Add a good amount of olive oil. Till it covers the bottom of the pan. I'm using a cast iron today, but you can use any wide, shallow pan. After which the olive oil is heated up. So add your chopped onions to the pan. You want to cook these about 5 to 7 minutes until they're soft. So now you can see the onions are slightly translucent. They've been cooking for about 5 minutes. So at this point we're going to add our diced bell pepper and also a little pinch of salt, just to help the bell pepper get some of the water out. I'm going to cook this for another 5 to 7 minutes. So next we're going to add in our diced jalapeños. And our spice mix, just to toast it and kind of cook in the olive oil and make up all those spices. So you want to toast off these spices for about a minute or two, just until you can really smell all of them. So now you can see those spices are really incorporated with the onions and peppers. And when you drag across the bottom of the pan, you want to see those spices not blackening, but kind of toasting on the bottom. And you should really be able to smell them at this point. Very aromatic. So once you can smell them, and you've toasted all the spices, that's the point where you're going to add your tomato paste. So we've got 30 milliliters of tomato paste, and that goes right in. Tomato paste can also have a very raw flavor, just like the spices if you don't toast it off, so you want to cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes, I'd say. And if it gets too dry, you can add a bit of water. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water here, just because it is getting a little bit dry in the pan. Just a touch. To help everything get a little more loose. And you can just keep adding as it goes. It's not going to dilute the flavor. It's just going to help everything from it not burning and sticking. At this point you can see that the tomato paste is cooked off. It's not raw anymore. You can really smell the spices. They're really nice and toasted. So we're going to add our can of diced tomatoes. And depending on how much juice is in here, you might want to add a bit of water again. But once you add the tomatoes, you're going to cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes until the sauce slightly thickens and reduces a bit. And this is the point when you also want to taste for seasoning, see if it's got enough salt, and adjust accordingly. Okay, so at this point, the sauce has just got back up to a simmer, and I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of water, and set my timer for 10 minutes, and let this stew away and thicken up. You can see after you add the water, when you drag your whatever you're cooking with, the sauce will come back rather fast. What we're looking for is the sauce to kind of drag and just not really come back that fast. You'll see what I mean at the end. It'll be a little thicker and a little more viscous. So right now is a good time to get everything else ready for finishing it. You can slice your bread. We've got a little bit of a white baguette. You can get your eggs ready for poaching, and you can get your feta cheese out. We're going to crumble some feta over the top at the end. Just kind of mashing it down just to make it a bit more sauce-like. If you want to leave it chunky, that's completely up to you, and that's totally fine. But I like mine to be a bit more like a homogeneous sauce. You can see here we're still a little too thin. When I drag my, what is this?
Spatula.
Spatula? When I drag my spatula, it's just a little bit too thin. Some of the water still needs to cook off. So if that's the case and it's not reducing fast enough, just turn up the heat a little bit. So we just had a little bit of a taste, and it was a little too sweet, so I added a bit of salt just to make it a bit more savory, and it could use a bit more spice in my opinion, so I'm going to add a few chili flakes, but not too many. Just a dash like that. And as you can see, we're just a few minutes away. That sauce is starting to drag just a bit like I was talking about. But I still want it to be just a touch thicker. So you can see it's starting to drag, getting a little thicker, rapid bubble. After it gets to the thickness you're wanting, you're going to drop it to about a medium-low and add the eggs in. So now this is how I want the sauce. You can see that it's slightly thickened up. If you pull everything to one side, it won't run back just like it was at the start. It'll slowly pool back in. And if I drag the spoon like I was talking about, the track will be left for a couple seconds and then that thick tomato sauce will come back. So at this point we're going to add the eggs. To do this you want to make a couple divots in the sauce. Now to help you do that, you can use a big spoon like this, and however many eggs you want to add to this, just kind of make a little depression. And then you can actually crack it in the spoon too to help out the process. So I'm going to try to fit 6 eggs and see how that goes. Like I said, I'm going to add a cracked egg to the spoon directly. I hope I don't mess it up. And then just lift the spoon up. Oh boy. That one broke. That's okay. Look, you make mistakes. Now at this stage it's totally just a preference thing. Cook it to your desired doneness, and you can cover this, you can put it in the oven, or you can leave it uncovered. Personally, I'm just going to drop it to a medium-low and try to cover it with a sheet pan. So like I said, just give that a cover with a sheet pan, and we're going to cook that for about 7 minutes. Okay. So at this point I can tell that the eggs are just slightly underdone, and I'm just going to add some seasoning to the top of each one. And I'm going to remove the eggs from the heat, just because it's going to continue to cook for another minute or so. So it's important to take it off just when it's slightly under, and then by the time it's rested and you're ready to serve, everything will be good to go. So now that it's been rested for a few minutes, you're just going to finish it off with some crumbled feta cheese on top. You can also use a goat's cheese, and a lot of people put some fresh green herbs. You can put parsley, cilantro, even some chopped mint, whatever you like. Maybe even some green onion. I think I want this guy right here for myself. Make sure you got some of that delicious sauce. And to sop up all this, you're going to serve with a couple pieces of bread. And there you have it. That's the final product, shakshuka, northern poached eggs in a spicy tomato sauce. You can have this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Really, any time is good. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.